mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Tiara.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This is episode 216, Sylvie's Love. You can watch this, incidentally, on Amazon if you have Amazon Prime for free. So check that out before listening to this episode, because obviously we're going to go through it and spoil it. And this is, I don't know why I have to keep saying this, this is a review of Sylvie's Love. The movie will not be playing at any point in this video, YouTubers. All right, so I will go last.
No. You can go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first. Yeah, go ahead. Get
right,
your liquid
so-
courage.
Take a sip. Take a sip.
No. In all honesty, I was fucking with both of you. I actually love this movie. I thought it was really great. I teared up actually a number of times during this movie. I actually really loved it. Yeah, you guys are like, you were ready to tear my ass a new one.
I was ready to fuck. I was writing notes. I had notes down. I was ready. I was getting pissed. I was like, what the fuck is this dumb nigga's problem? Not liking this goddamn movie.
Which is weird, because I'm more of the like romantic movie person. Like, which is funny. So no, I actually, yeah, my favorite movie is a romantic movie. Are you serious? Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy starring two white people. Tiara,
it's a great movie.
Is your favorite movie Sleepless in Seattle?
Close. When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
Sleepless in Seattle is okay. You Got Mail is a better movie than that. Incidentally, so no, look, I love this movie. I thought it was great. I think Eugene Ash, who is the writer director for this, I thought he did a great job. One of my big issues, or one of my big things I liked about the movie, is that he avoids going into a bunch of tropes, right? Like they deal with them like the sort of miscommunication stuff, but they don't do it in a, like the really obvious romantic comedy or romantic movie way, which is old and boring. I thought the writing was really good. Like I liked how it kind of summed itself up sort of at the end. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, honestly. So that was just me fucking with you guys off camera.
Boy,
Michael is in this movie,
you got mine.
which is why he has such a personal stake in this.
Yeah, you chose
I. Who was I? And let me thank you now, because everyone in this movie is beautiful, except for Ron Funches. Like, don't if you say I'm Ron Funches, like, go fuck yourself.
So everybody know I'm bullshit in Chicago, like, or Detroit, like, nigga, come on, yo.
Like I thought you got me a job. Shrug. I gotta go to the cleaners though.
Right.
I like Ron Funches, and you know, I would probably bullshit my way through a conversation like that to make myself feel better because I'm insecure. But no.
You're not gonna have your boy. You're not gonna tell your boy you can get him a job.
No, I'm not gonna tell him to come to.
The fuck?
Look, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie way more than I thought I did. I thought I would. Tessa Thompson is just born for roles like this. Like she's Dorothy Dandridge reborn. And I always love seeing her in movies that like take place around the 50s, because she has that look and she has that like acting style. Like she can pull that acting style off very well. And it feels very genuine. This is a beautiful movie, not just from, you know, the people that are in it, but the way scenes are shot, all of the color, cinematography is gorgeous. The writing is, like you said, very well done for this type of movie. Because normally it would be like, you know, you could hear like yakety sax in the background playing with like a typical romantic comedy, right? But no, this takes itself. This plays out in a realistic fashion, even with all the messiness that's in the movie between the interactions with the characters. It doesn't feel like dirty and messy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lesser movie would treat some of the situations that are in this movie as with like a head snake and a snap. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this movie feels a little more grown up than that. This is a movie that takes place in the 50s and the 60s that is about Black people and Black love, and like it doesn't deal with like Black people just being beaten down and beaten down and beaten down. And that's something that I absolutely love, because this time period, it like everybody just looks, everyone looks beautiful in these type of clothing. I don't know what it is, right? Like, but like
it was a classy time. It was a super classy time.
It really is. Everybody is very dapper, and just I love it. So I had a very good time with this movie. I enjoyed watching it again, and yeah, it's 5 out of 5 for me, man. I love it.
Okay, Tiara.
I thought this movie was so cute. One of my favorite, like Nnamdi Asomugha. I think it's the first thing I've seen him in. I am so glad he decided to get into acting in his post NFL career. Yeah, Mike, I feel the same way about Tessa Thompson. She gives me very like golden age of Hollywood vibes when she's in roles like this.
Yeah.
Also, like there's a trope in romantic comedies or dramas where whenever there's some sort of like confrontation, like the actors have to act, over the top and yell at each other just to get the point across. And I feel like with Nnamdi and Tessa, they did not need to do that to be effective in some of their scenes, particularly later in the movie, especially when one gets hit with some life-altering news and it confronts her about it. Like he doesn't yell, he doesn't scream, he doesn't call her a bunch of names, but even then you can just feel how impacted he was to find out such news from her dad. And similar when Tessa finds out about the job at the end of the movie, like she's not breaking down crying or doing the whole like over the top, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? We could have just communicated and then this movie would have been over like 40 minutes ago.
Right.
No, it's more like a very like mature way of handling these events. I think I would give it like a 4 to 5 because part of it did drag for me. But I love like supporting appearances by Aja Naomi King, who is just beautiful. That's
yeah. I also enjoyed those scenes.
Just a beautiful, like underrated actress. I want to see her in more things.
Yeah, she's great.
And of course, Reggae Jean Page was in it, playing a nigga from New York instead of a nigga from Britain, and I thought that was pretty funny. And then of course, like Lance Reddick was cool too. But I missed MC Light because I swear I did not recognize her.
Thank you. Yo, I was just looking. I'm like, yo, her role must have been tiny because I totally missed her in this movie.
Yeah,
I honestly have no idea what role she played.
Me neither.
Played someone named Mickey, and I was like trying to find it in the plot.
Who was that?
I don't know. While we're going through it, maybe I'll be like, "Oh shit, there she is." But I honestly don't know where she is in this movie. I
did read on Wikipedia how Lorenz Tate was supposed to star and produce in this, and I think it still would have been pretty good because he's looked 30 for the last 20, 30 years.
Lorenz Tate hasn't aged a day. It's weird. He's a vampire. It's strange.
But I'm glad Nnamdi Asomugha, someone who is new to acting in general, got this role. And I think he did a good job playing it, someone more established like Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, look, I think everyone was so good in this. I was actually really impressed. And this guy, Nnamdi Asomugha, like he hasn't had that much experience. We did do Crown Heights a number of years ago, but I don't really remember his role in it. But like, I mean, I thought he was like, he killed it. Like he was really good, like very convincing. I think Lorenz Tate, like you said, I think Lorenz Tate would have done a good job as well. I mean, he's a guy who can definitely pull these kind of roles pretty easily. But it's cool to see a newcomer do it. And yeah, and hold like Tessa Thompson is so very good in stuff like this and also in pretty much everything. It's nice that he was able to match her level of skill, right? Like it
Yep.
didn't feel like, wow, she is super outacting you in these scenes, dude, and you were like barely trying to keep up. So I appreciated that.
I think if they had to both emote really, really strongly, then I think it would have been a problem. If Nnamdi had to act alongside her in that way. But the fact that he kept pretty much the attitudes pretty much level throughout the entire film, I think that's probably why they both did pretty well.
Yeah. All right, so the movie starts off, this is like 1957, I believe, and you see Tessa Thompson's character, Sylvie. She's standing outside of a venue. She's there to see Nancy Wilson, and she's waiting for her cousin to come and meet her, who just for some reason doesn't show. We find out about that later. And she sees Robert, a person that she knew 5 years ago that she hasn't seen in 5 years. She sees him standing out there, and she says, "Hey, why don't you come and go to this thing with me?" And so that's kind of how the movie starts. So then we backtrack 5 years to see sort of the origins of their relationship. We cut to Jay's music shop where Sylvie is working. This is her father's record shop. Herbert is her father, played by Lance Riddick. Look, Lance Riddick is great in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Full stop. Like, he just is. That dude is dope in everything. And he's just like kind of like, yeah, he owns this record store, but you know, he's like kind of tinkering around. He's got like an old fan that he's trying to fix. He has a TV he fixed for her that he found like on the side of the street, but it doesn't have any audio. But then he found another TV that has only audio and no visuals. So he stacked them together like the most like stereotypical black father shit I've ever heard in my entire life. He's like, "Didn't I hook you up? Like, you're welcome." So Sylvie just basically helps the customers, and sits and watches TV all day, right? But she doesn't know music. There's a sign outside or in the window of the record shop that says "Help Wanted." And Robert comes in because he's trying to find a job because he's a saxophonist, but his band isn't really making any money. I think that his band's getting paid $200 for the whole summer. Like, it was like 4 y'all. You're going to starve to death.
I understand it's the 50s, but like, come on, guys.
Yo, $50 for like 2 months? Like, come on. That feels like a scam. So he's like, "Look, I need to go find a job." So he sees his help wanted sign. He goes into the store. And it's funny because Sylvie doesn't even look up when he like asks for assistance at the store. And then eventually like he sees her, but she's not looking at him, and vice versa. And like right when he's like trying to impress her, he decides to like, "Let me take my glasses off. Like, you know, let me show what's going on over here." And she like finally looks up and she's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a quarterback or something? And she played for the Raiders. So she's like, so he asked her like, "Hey, like, what would the price?" She says it's like $3 for this record he wants to buy. So he's like, "What's the price of this record with an employee discount?" And she's like, "Oh, like, we're not really hiring. My mom is like this fancy pants person, and my dad is like this real regular dude. But we put the sign out there so people think I'm not sitting here bullshitting all day, and then we really need help. But like, we don't. Like, nice try, but thank you." And her dad comes out and he's like, "What's your name? Robert? Yeah, you hired." Like, he just tears up the help wanted sign. He's like, "Come back tomorrow." So now he works there, and so they are in close proximity to each other. Look, one thing about this movie that I think is really, really good is the dialogue between the characters feels real. Like, now it has that 1950s style to it, like Micah was mentioning, but it does feel real, and that always to me is a marker of the writer/director being black. Like,
yep.
you can like. I didn't need to see what Eugene Ash looked like as I'm watching this movie, because I generally don't, if I don't know the director, I generally don't look to see what they look like until the end. Unless it's like, oh, it's Karen. Was that directed by a black dude? That's crazy. Incidentally, for folks who listen to the show, some people in our YouTube channel were like, "Yo, that movie was really good." Yeah, it got nominated for Worst Picture for the Razzies today. But go ahead, you got it. So we'll talk more about that on the
who runs the Razzies? White people.
They trying to hold that movie down. No, they're
trying to hold the movie down.
That movie trying to hold the movie down. So you come to find out, like, you know, that obviously Eugene Ash is black, and so it rings true just because of their interactions. Like, it just there's like little things. I don't even know, sometimes there are things you can describe, but they're just little things between black actors that you're like, yeah, that's real. That's how we talk to each other, right? Versus somebody who's on the outside. And it's okay sometimes for, you know, white people to direct black people. I don't have a problem with that fundamentally. Right. But sometimes there are certain stories and perspectives that just sound better coming from us because we know us, right? It's just a cultural thing. It's not even a race thing. It's a cultural thing. Which, you know, I know white people, you don't understand, but race and culture sometimes are different.
Their culture is Joe Rogan.
Your culture is Joe Rogan. I hope not. I hope that's not true. But like, I remember seeing an interview with like Denzel, and he was basically saying that, like, they asked, like, could a white director direct Fences? He was like, no, because it's a cultural thing, right? He was like, you know, it's like
listen to Steven Spielberg and Scorsese and Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, right? He was like, those guys could switch, sure, but it's their culture that makes those movies what they are, right? Because they bring their own shit to it, and that's the point. Again, it's somehow hard for people to understand that. So now they're working together, and we cut to a scene of seeing Robert playing at a jazz club, and he is, of this quartet that he plays in, he is clearly the best musician, right? Like,
he learned to play saxophone for the role.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's impressive.
Yep. He learned to play saxophone.
Do you guys know how to play any instruments?
I used to play alto saxophone.
Like Kenny G? Is that the one he played?
He played soprano.
Soprano sax.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that Micah was trying to get his Kenny G on back in high school or middle school.
I didn't have the hair for it.
You could have.
Everybody shits on that guy, but like,
he was super talented, dude.
Right? He's laughing all the way to the fucking bank. Like,
whatever. G-Bop was a bop. Get out of here. Like, fuck you. If you didn't like Kenny G's music back in the day, you're full of shit. You are full of shit. Granted, he seems rather ridiculous with his sideshow bob hairstyle now, but back then people fucked with him.
It's like Weird Al Yankovic playing saxophone and shit. Like, just fucking weird. Do you know who Kenny G is?
Yes.
She's never heard of Kenny G. Did your mom have?
I don't know.
Nah, yo. Did your mom have that on when she made you clean the house on Saturdays?
Yes.
All right then. That's right. Turn on G-Bop and clean that toilet. Like, oh, I hate Kenny G.
I'm an adult, guys. I wasn't born like just a few years ago. God.
Yo, yes, you were.
I'm only 10 years younger than both of you.
Look, I don't know. I don't know.
Nah, you ain't.
You know how young people are nowadays. They're like, if it didn't happen, if it happened before they were born, it didn't happen.
That's true. Let's go on a scree about young people. The worst. Yeah. So we see.
Wait, hold on. I played an instrument too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me guess.
I mean,
you look like a clarinet player.
God.
That is the worst special power you have, Michael. That's a terrible special power. Clarinet. That's funny.
My guess right. I did play the clarinet.
Oh,
I did, but also play the recorder. Before,
okay, that was my instrument of choice.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure my mother still has it somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta level up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the clarinet, the recorder evolves into the clarinet. I get it.
Yep. Not for me. Not for me.
You didn't play in your band. I played in band in middle school.
Oh no.
I was a band
And not
kid.
because I was cool. Trust me, I wasn't. No, I have no musical ability at all. At all. I can't carry a tune. I like not even if I have help. Like I can't.
Is this why you don't listen? Is this why you don't like R&B?
No, I don't like a lot of. I don't like lay me down, lick me up R&B. Like I'm just not. I'm not a fan of it. You know? I'm not. It don't have no subtlety to it. You know? It don't have subtlety to it. You know? It bothers me. You know? I just don't. I don't like it. It feels trashy to me. It feels trashy. No, you know it's funny. It's funny because like I had this moment. I was thinking about this the other day. I was driving. Like what my particular taste in R&B is. Like, I don't like I think it's because as I've gotten older, like, I don't want to hear anything about, like, we fallen in love, you know, like, bubblegum shit. Like, I like listening to music where people are just like, yo, we've been together for a long time, like, growing old together type music. Like, that's the type of music I like. And a lot of, like, young R&B is not that. It's like,
But you said that you don't like 90s R&B.
I don't like the 90s lay me down, lick me up R&B. I don't. Like, Jagged Edge and shit, I don't like that. Like, I don't. There's a few Jodeci songs I fuck with, but for the most part, like, I don't like it. I don't like Drew Hill.
There's one.
I don't like that shit. I don't.
Do you, TR, do you know a guy? Do you know a guy named Jimmy? Do you know a guy named Jimmy Cozier?
That sounds.
He has a song. He has a song out. I couldn't believe it when I heard it on the radio. He has a song out called "She's All I Got." And it's the worst fucking love song I've ever heard in my entire life. Yo.
I've never heard it.
It's the most. Yo, you got to listen to it. I'll see if I can find the lyrics real quick.
Oh dear.
She's all I got. Because, yo, the lyrics to this thing, I was listening to it. And
what's the guy's?
Like,
oh, yeah. Here we go.
We both only listen to a certain rotation of music right now.
What is that?
Korean based.
Korean based.
BTS and other K-pop.
Okay.
Wait, whoa. I'm reading the lyrics to this. Nigga, what? Nigga, what are you talking about? See, this is why I listen. This is why I stick with Spotify. I don't listen to radio, yo. Get out of here.
I couldn't fucking
hold
believe
on.
it.
Like, we got to take a pause for the movie to talk about this for a second. I want to tell y'all about my old lady. Sometimes I think she's really crazy. She blacks out at the drop of a dime, but she's still my baby. She likes to get into confrontations with me, testing my patience to see how far she can go before I lose my head. No, this nigga's an abuser, yo. This is like, yo, what are you talking about?
I couldn't believe it. Sometimes I love her. Sometimes I love her not. I ain't letting her go because she's all I got. Although she nags me and complains a lot,
Sometimes I love her.
I ain't letting her go.
Sometimes I love her not, but I ain't letting her go because she's all I got. Yeah, I've heard that song.
You know what this sounds like?
Yo.
This sounds like a song Deacon would have written. That's what this song sounds like. This is on some bullshit. Wow. No. She blacks out at the drop of a dime. Like, is she a drunk? Like, what are you talking about?
To who people may know as Mira, I will be recording a video of me singing this.
You should.
And your wife. So look forward to that video. By the time you listen to this.
Yeah, good. No, absolutely. Yeah. She gonna message us on Twitter, be like, "Yo, what have you done? This is all your fault." No, those lyrics are horrible. So yeah, I can't listen to shit like that.
But this is from what, 1999 or whatever? This is an old song.
I just couldn't. I heard it. I heard it a couple months ago. It
came out in 2001.
What the fuck is this?
This is a 20-year-old song.
See, but that's in that era. I don't fuck with. Like, I don't fuck with it. Nah, I'm good. I'm too old for that. All right, back to the movie. That's fucking hilarious, by the way. So Robert is working at the record shop with Mr. J and Sylvie's father, and so he finds out that Robert plays a saxophone because he told Sylvie that, and And he was like, hey man, he was like, I used to be a saxophonist myself. You ever heard of the Scooty Scooty Blues? Like, nah, ain't nobody ever heard of that. Like, knock it off, old man. So that's where they have a connection, right? He actually likes Robert quite a lot. And again, this is one of those like avoiding the tropes kind of situations. Like the trope would be that Mr. J can't stand Robert for some reason, right? And he's like,
I'm gonna give you a job. I'm gonna give you a job, but you better not fuck my daughter. All right. I'm gonna leave now, but you better not have sex with my daughter while I'm gone. Like, all right.
Right. And it's just like, all right, this is like tired and boring. Yeah. Like he actually likes him, but doesn't like over like him, like, oh, you should marry my daughter. Like it's not like that. It's just
he's like not that intrusive into his daughter's life anyway. Not really.
No, he isn't. He isn't. And that's also a trope.
Be an adult. Yeah.
Right. And that's also a trope. So yeah, it's kind of nice actually. Back playing at a club, we see the guys they get introduced to this woman who goes by the Countess, played by what's her name? Jemima Kirk. I can't remember what I know her from, but I've seen her in a number of
Girls.
Things. What is it?
Girls.
Oh, that's right. I fucking hate all four of those women on that show. They were awful. That's right. She was like the super wild crazy one. So yeah, she's basically like, look, I can get. She's talking to their Dickie Brewster, who is like the lead of it's the Dickie Brewster quartet. She's like, look, I can get you more money. You guys are getting paid $2,000 for the summer. What kind of bullshit is that? Like, I can get you more money if you like let me be your manager. I can hook you up with some much better shit. Like, here's $5,000 to get you in the guys' suits. Like, okay. Again, $5,000 in 1957 is a big deal. Look, putting 4 dudes in suits for $5,000 now is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's a baller ass suit for over $1,000. Are you kidding me? I have 100% spent far less than $1,000 on a suit. several actually. You go to K&G, you can get 55 suits for that. Like, get out of here. You might actually be able to get 5,000 suits if I'm being honest. Like all of them are Steve Harvey suits, but you know you can't wear that shit to an interview.
No. Steve Harvey and Sean John. They're all Steve Harvey and Sean John suits.
Sean John suits. I had a Calvin Klein suit from off the rack from K&G back in the day. Looked like it was made of shark skin. But
you have any photos to share?
Relax. relax. I do not.
No, because they would have to be. They would have to be motion photos so you could see the legs flapping in the breeze because those bitches ain't tailored.
No, nigga. No. You get that off the rack suit and you immediately take it to the tailor. Knock it off. No, yo, here's something about me. I'm never walking around in a suit that's not tailored. Knock that off. Get the entire fucking off the rack. I'm just gonna wear it out. No, hell no. No, you can make an off the rack suit look good, but you got to get a tailor. Yo, it's not even that expensive. Yo, it's not. It's like $15. Go get a tailor.
They have it right. They have the tailors right there.
Yeah, they have them there, right? Exactly. Some old white man is like, all right, where you want your inseam? Like, all right, relax. But yeah, just get a tailor. If I can give any advice to a grown man listening to this podcast, always take your suit to a tailor. And don't buy a Steve Harvey suit. That's ridiculous. So yeah, the Countess becomes their manager like immediately in that moment. We see more of Sylvie and Robert bonding. At one point, Robert's like he comes upstairs while Sylvie is singing and dancing around to a song. I think it's like Later Alligator or whatever. And she gets super embarrassed, and he's like, my bad. Like, sorry about that. Like I was just fucking with you. And she walks in the basement to like kind of give him a hard time, but she mistakenly closes the door behind her, which Mr. J told her early, like, hey, don't do that because it will lock and you'd be stuck down here. So they get stuck in the basement together. And it's a sweet moment. They both light a cigarette, and it's something like the cigarette half lights. And so she's like, oh, that just means,
French
that's
something.
like a French light. That means you're going to find you're going to fall in love soon. And he's like, well, yours did the same thing. What does that mean? And then she just like, oh, I don't know.
So cute. That is so. Just
It's adorable.
Those are those things. Those are those things where I'm like, love is real.
Love is real.
Love is kind, and it's out there.
Love is real. Love is kind. What's the,
and it's
what's
only in movies.
Yeah,
what's the rest of that line that everybody they use at their wedding? Like, never vengeful. I don't know. It's some shit like.
But that shit is that's that sappy shit I love to like read about.
Yeah,
so dope.
I like sappy shit like that. That's pretty cool. I'm a sappy guy. Anyway, so these two, they get stuck. Now, this part of the scene I didn't understand. He like reaches behind her ear, and I didn't understand like what the fuck was even going on there. It just seemed weird.
I think he was trying to pull a quarter out of her. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, like I didn't know, and then the next thing I know, like they're unlocked from the basement. So it was just seemed odd. But it's a nice interaction because they're like starting to kind of fall for each other. Yeah. Oh, I see what it is. He pulled a bobby pin out of her hair to pick the lock. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And so he's like, "Hey, look, I'm playing down at this place down the street. Why don't you come see me and the quartet I'm in? I'll get you guys. I'll get you and your cousin's seats." And she was like, "All right, bet. Like, we'll come." And so he plays, and it's so funny because her cousin Mona is there, and she's like, "Ooh, is that him? Like, damn, he's like really good." And Tessa Thompson's like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, I'm not. She wasn't even breaking gaze. Wasn't even breaking gaze. So she was like super falling for him just for his talent alone. She was like all about it, which goes to show you, man, playing the saxophone, which is definitely the reason why Micah chose it, can get you girls. Now go and tell a lie and say that's not the reason.
Was that the
why
reason?
you did it, Micah?
I can't remember why. That's so. I'll just say that was it, but I can't remember why.
I was gonna say, don't tell that lie.
Like, I didn't want to do trumpet, and I wanted a horn, but I didn't want to do a trumpet because everybody does trumpet, right? Like, you're not special if you play a trumpet.
Wow.
You're not.
Yeah,
they even said it in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Louis. Yeah, sorry, Louis Armstrong. Fuck you, right?
They even said it in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. They were like, "A trumpet player is a dime a dozen. Get the fuck out of here. You want to leave? Bye."
I mean, probably.
But
back
yeah,
then, maybe.
I just thought the saxophone was cool.
Yeah, it's a sexy instrument. That's why. Like the sound of it is a sexy instrument.
What instrument was Reggae John Page's character playing?
He was drums.
Still hot. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with his instrument.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. So the guy holding sticks can beat you to death. Oh, okay. Oh, it's hot. That's hot, man. That's hot, bro.
I feel like anyone who listened to the Harder They Fall podcast should not be surprised about how I will react to that.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't be. Yeah, you have a thing for violence. It's weird. So yeah, you got us demonetized for that episode. Thanks a lot. We could have made a nickel off of it. So after they finish playing, the guys are like, Robert's like, "Oh, let me go talk to Sylvie and see her, and say hello." And fucking young Bridgerton's like, "Yo, let me holler at her cousin. Yo, help me out, my nigga." And I don't know if this scene is written like on the script as it is portrayed here, or if they kind of like ad-libbed a little bit of it. But I have a feeling that Reggae Jean is very aware of what he how he appears. Like, he's very aware of how handsome he is. Like, in this scene, he's just like, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, if he was American, he'd be a fuckboy for real, yo. Like,
oh yeah, he's a ridiculously good-looking dude. Yeah. I still think if you're gonna do a black Superman, he's a pretty good choice. He is a fuckboy in this movie. He absolutely is.
Yes.
Yes. It's like,
yeah, and not really into fuckboys, but
apparently you are.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's
Look,
a
you couldn't even
violence
finish your
aspect.
thought. You couldn't even finish your thought. You were looking at him like Sylvie was looking at Robert.
She's like,
How do you
shut up,
know-
Jay and Micah. Shut up. Reggae John's on the
How do
screen.
you know I wasn't looking at Reggae John page like Sylvie looked at Lacey, her fiance?
No.
Okay.
Who?
Her fiance who chose her, but he could have had any other woman in where are they? Brooklyn,
Harlem?
Yeah,
Harlem.
Yeah, well,
What's his
I
name?
don't like that type of book.
yeah, what's that character's name again?
Lacey. His name is Lacey.
Lacey.
Yes,
That's why she broke up with him. That's the
Yes.
reason.
that's his name
She
in the
was
movie.
like,
I thought you were asking his real name. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Wow, me and that guy are
Don't
the
ask me
same
that.
age. Weird. Yeah, it is in fact Lacey. Yeah, but maybe if he had a stronger name, she wouldn't have dumped you, bro. Something like Robert. But Sylvie is like, she's like all about it, and she's like
You want
super.
to get
impressed by
mad
it.
real quick? You want to get mad real quick? We over here clowning Lacey. Guess who his wife is?
I don't wanna know.
DeWanda Wise.
All right, then you know what? Fuck me then.
Ooh,
It's-
good
You
for
know what?
him.
Yeah, good for him is right. Good
yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
Good
Good,
for
for
him.
him is real. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He gets to
Good
he
Lord.
Gets, he gets to spend the rest of forever with her. Man, he won.
Yeah, he real lucky. He real lucky.
He did win. I'm gonna
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you know what? That guy, he won the episode. Like, Jesus Christ. So Robert and Sylvie, they dance. A black woman's like, you don't have to go home, but you gotta get the hell up out of here. Like the second they start dancing, like, go ahead. And immediately, Reggae Jean was like, me and Mona, we about to get out of here. So, no, we not catching no cab together. Like, we gotta go. And look, I get it. I can see what she looks like. She's beautiful. So they leave, and Robert and Sylvie, they have the rest of their night together, and it's very cute. And look, I have to say, this is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. He walks her home. It's great. And he's like, finds out about her fiance. And he's like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, he's very rich. And, his dad owns a big practice, a medical practice. It's all great. It's all fantastic. And he gets her home, and she's like, or he says to her, at the end of an evening, there's always, when someone goes on a date, there's always a goodnight kiss. And she's like, well, yeah, but this wasn't a date. And he was just like, he felt all dejected. It's like, oh man. Then she walks up the stairs, and then she goes, well, you did ask me, you basically asked me out, and I did go out. So technically it was a date. And this dude literally runs up the stairs to her, like, whoa, what? Possibility?
Man.
Nah, yo, that's the move. Because it's adorable, yo. It's an adorable moment.
It is adorable.
It's an adorable moment. I
Super
feel like
cute.
most women would be like, all right, that's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
that's cute. Yeah. His face was mad serious when he was like, what? Started running. And so then she kisses him, and it's just like a peck, like, oh, okay. And then she takes like 2 seconds to think about it, and she was like, nah, fuck that. And she comes back, and they have this very passionate, real first kiss. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's nice to see black people together in not kissing in the heat of oppression, which Micah, you brought up earlier. Right? Like they not kissing like during the riots after Martin Luther King got murdered or some shit. You're like, all right, well, like, good for them, but bad for us. Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to just see black people.
They're not finding embrace through tragedy, yo. Like,
Yeah.
like this is that's something that happens, man. And it's just nice to see this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like, that's a big part, because I was waiting for that. Like, all right, this is the late 50s. Like, when you're gonna have some shit pop off, and they never do, which I appreciate it. Like, it doesn't really even touch much into the civil rights situation until the very end of the movie, actually.
Right.
And it's only if you know that reference that they make. Back at the record store the next day, Robert meets Sylvie's mom for the first time. And then you get your first glance at why Sylvie is as light as she is, considering her father is Lance Riddick. So, I appreciated that they actually tried to explain that. I'm like, that shit doesn't make sense. But she's like a very straight laced person who runs like a I guess like a school for girls, like for manners and shit like that. Which is weird. Those things still exist. But yeah, people still send their daughters to them. No. But you know, whatever. I mean, earlier, Sylvie talked about meeting her fiance at a cotillion, which those still exist, like in the South, like in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah. Like my nieces and nephews, like they have a cotillion at their high school. I'm like, it's 2022. Like, that's weird. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But they do. So she's like, look, like don't fuck around, and like Tessa Thompson's mom is like, look, you heaping a lot of praise on this dude, saying like he's such a great saxophonist. She's like, don't heap a lot of praise, because you know people start to think like, oh, maybe you trying to like you in love with him or whatever. And she's like, no, mama, you know, I'm not trying to do that. You know, like, you know, I'm with, you know, fucking boring McGee over there, Lacey, and she's like, yeah, good, because you know you don't want to be with somebody who's below your station, which is offensive. Don't like that. But at the same time, 100% would tell my daughter that she brought home something.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
And what does and Jay, what would be below her station? I need specifics. Like
you need to. How long you got? How long you got? How long you got? No, just somebody. Honestly, no, I don't think in all honesty, I don't think I really would say that. I would just be like, him? You sure?
No. I need to know.
I can zoom you in if you want. I can do the digital zoom. It's no problem. I mean, no, I don't. Like, in all honesty, I think I would only say that if I thought the person was like truly a bad person. Like, not if they like didn't make money or some shit like that, but like truly a fucking like, yo, I'm pretty sure this dude is on drugs. Like, that's not cool. You should probably not be with somebody like that. Then I would say something.
So they come home, or so she brings him home talking to you about how he about to drop his next mixtape on Spotify or whatever.
Nah, I would support it. I would be totally cool with that. That sounds awesome. Yep, that's me. Big fan of people dropping their fucking mixtape on Spotify with no other job.
Are you one of those people that's like, so around here, people are like, oh, hey, I got somebody that I want to set you up with. The first words out of their mouth are, what does he do? Right?
No, I would not do that. I would not do that. No, never.
Okay. All right.
No,
now, when you found out what he did, was future, even if it was like entrepreneur, like I'm trying to open a record label.
No, yo, you gotta have a business plan, my nigga. You gotta have a business plan, yo. You can't be on some bullshit. You can't be on bullshit.
Or what if they were an aspiring musician, but yet let's say they worked at a toy store, you know, cars, Legos, any other type of toy store.
I don't have anything to say about that. I would hope that they had a business plan in some sort of future. You know what? No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, yo, what are you doing, yo? What are you doing? You gotta have something, yo. Look, I don't even care if you're a garbage man, yo. I don't care about that. I care, like, in all honesty, money. Yeah, they actually do. Money. Yeah, no, they actually do. But no, like some people would look down and no, I wouldn't look down on anybody. The only thing I would not be okay with is if they didn't do shit. Like that, I can tell you. I'd be like, you don't do nothing? Nah, yo. Just trying to see what the world does. Nah, nope, no. But you can't push too hard because then your kids like they like revolt against you and shit. Like, nah, I double love his ass. I'm like, oh, come on.
I mean, what if she's like 17, 18, like really like just
when you're just dating? I don't give a fuck.
Like I mean, we're not talking like if she's like 25, almost 30. Like
no, if she dating, she's likely to date somebody who I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna treat that kid like shit every time they come to my house. No, I wouldn't do that. That's fucked up. That's really
didn't we just talk about bullying last week? Don't do that.
No, we talked about cyberbullying. That's different. I wouldn't talk to him online or her because I'd like to specify that's important. Like, if my daughter happens to be bi or a lesbian, that's fine. I don't give a shit about that. Don't bring no lazy nigga, gay, straight, whatever to my house. Fuck that. Like, that's my whole thing. I don't give a fuck what they look like. Just don't bring some fucking loser at my house. You better than that. Like, that's it. You better than that. I'm just saying. Like, it is what it is. I look, you judge all you want. And I know you're not really judging because, Micah, get the fuck out of here with your ass. Like, I already know. I already know. If your son bring home, hey, this is my girlfriend. She's stripping and she got an OnlyFans. Dad, you cool with it?
I mean, how much she making?
No.
How much she making? No, that's not the question, yo. It's not the question, yo. Nah, yo.
I mean,
and by the way, just because it's something you don't want for your son doesn't mean it's something that you look down on. It's just like I just don't want it for my kid. I don't. If my daughter was like, this guy shaking his ass at the fucking jiggle factory, I'd be like, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
Let's see. I can't wait until we
still be a stripper. That's on you.
I can't wait to record in about 14, 15 years and come back to this conversation. Let me make a note, timestamp, 20.
Let me make a note that we are not doing this in 14 years.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This shit better be paying big bucks if we're doing it in 14 years.
That's right. I already forgot. You have plans to sell out and sell out your people and your audience.
Yeah.
You get money.
Look. This will be a part of the Joe Rogan experience. They give me enough money. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all.
So I was like,
get out of here.
$100 million to be Joe Rogan's special black friends. Y'all doing it, or just so we can have diverse perspectives? $100 million.
You know what?
I don't like. I don't think. I don't think Joe Rogan is funny though. I watched his stand up and I didn't like it, so I don't respect him for that. And I don't respect people for just being dumb. I respect
$100 million.
I respect Joe Rogan when he's talking about like Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
That's the only thing you should ever listen to Joe Rogan about. Like, he knows fighting.
Literally the only thing he knows fighting. Like, that dude really knows fighting. That's what you should be listening to Joe Rogan for. Now, $100 million, how much of that $100 million am I getting? Because I don't own none of this. So
you got a percentage. You're getting $50 out of this. You get $50.
Well, then no.
$50. You imagine the show sells for $100 million. Like, I got you for $50. Don't worry about it. $50, nigga. What?
Yo, Mike, check your cash app.
Yo, you got $50 in there, my nigga.
I think you left a couple zeros off of it.
Like, what the fuck?
There's a couple.
One, if we sell for $100 million, I can assure you, I won't be passing you money via Cash App. Who am I, Floyd Mayweather? What the fuck? Get a real account. No, I like, yeah, that idea of selling out. It would be weird. It'd be a bit weird. It would have to be the right thing, or the right amount of money.
And when we sell out to the Joe Rogan podcast, I would make sure that I bring a couple of glasses of Terramana for me and Jay and juice for Micah.
Is that some $3 wine that you buy at Trader Joe's?
No, Terramana. That's your
boys. That's your boys.
His tequila. Oh, get the fuck out of here! I don't listen to that. Oh, now that I've learned about what's going on, my publicist said that I'm not cool with it. Fucking
yeah.
I'm trying not to fuck up my bullshit neutrality on everything. Fucking coward. I'm not gonna really say it to his face because he'd probably throw me through a wall. Just saying.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, you would. No, I believe it. So then we see it's a birthday party is going on for Dickie Brewster and or Dickie Brewster's, I guess, wife, who's Eva Longoria, who I didn't notice that was her until much later in the film, which is just really funny. I just didn't think about it. Like, she could have been MC Light as far as I knew. Like, I just did not notice.
I didn't recognize it the first time either.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her until she did the perhaps song later on. And it's a party, and Sylvie gets invited, and Robert is there, and he doesn't talk to her because, like, she's like, look, the thing that happened the other night, like, it can never happen again. And he's like, all right, you know what?
Well, fuck you then, bitch.
Basically, he hit her with the Baltimore shit. But he never yelled, and he never called her out of her name. And she's like, look, I'm engaged. She's like, yeah, you keep saying that. It's actually the least interesting thing about you, which is a great line. Like, it's a really, really great line. I was like,
And it
they
takes
just,
two people to kiss each other, by the way.
it does.
Sylvie.
It does. I mean,
Wow.
all right, Micah, like you want some like do not betray me shit, which we'll get back to, incidentally. You cool with this? You rooting for them? Yeah, you real piece of shit.
I can separate real life from movie characters. So yes, I am rooting for them.
All right, we're gonna come back to you.
I mean,
later.
if that was the case, I wouldn't watch anything but like Kirk Cameron movies and Kevin Sorbo Christian movies. Like, I ain't doing that.
Well, God is not dead. Two
He's
and
truly
three.
alive.
On the inside, roaring like a lion. Those are the actual lyrics of that song. That's a bad movie, guys. So she's like, look, you know what? You right. I am kind of in love with you, dog. You right. And then they have their like little summer thing, and you know they hanging out on the rooftop, chilling. Tessa Thompson looking all super fine, and like life is good. You know, she's very much in love with him. He's very much in love with her. Then, you know, I guess they have sex. You know, Reggae Jean has been having sex with Mona, obviously. And, you know, everything is good. And Mona and Sylvie have this conversation where Mona's like, oh, did you do it with the cornerback? And she's like, yeah, I did. It was extraordinary. She was like, I've had sex with a lot. Like, I've done it a lot. It has never been extraordinary. She was like, it was extraordinary. It's like, okay. So that happens when you have sex when you're in love. Not just on Tinder dates, you young people. Get out of here.
Wow.
So
Swiping people like you're choosing them off a fucking menu.
yeah. What's wrong with your generation? I'm so glad that didn't exist when I was single. Oh my God.
I mean, is
Disaster.
it because you would have also been
Yes.
swiping people?
Yes. You goddamn right. Yes.
Shamelessly?
Way too easy. man.
Shamelessly?
Way too easy, drill sergeant. Way too easy. No, yo, you gotta make it difficult at some point. Yo. It's like, come on, man. Come on. That's
It's
way
still
too easy.
difficult.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of bots and spammers on there now. Not when it first started.
look, a lot of entrepreneurs on here. A lot of busy entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of record producers. A lot of future record label owners.
Right, but you on
Yep.
there to bang. You're not on there to find love. You're not trying to find Mr. Right. You're trying to find Mr. Right now. Or Mrs. Right now. Right? Like,
Or
nah,
Mrs.
yo.
right now.
Yeah. Kidding me? I'm super glad that shit didn't exist when I was single.
Wow.
That's a nightmare. Nah, that's a nightmare, yo. Niggas will lose their minds.
Because you would be out here in these streets.
Yes, and I don't need that. Mm-mm. I personally am not for the streets, as they say. It's not me. That's not me. But a lot of people on those apps definitely are. But good for you. Look, I think it's great.
Me too.
Me too. God damn it. So at this point, Robert's like, listen, I got told that me and the rest of the band, we got to go to Paris. And we're going to be gone for a minute, and I want you to come along. And she's like, yeah, I'll think about it. Like, I will think about it. I absolutely will think about it. And he's like, all right. It's like, and again, this is a trope. The trope would have been, I got to go to Paris. peace, like just would have bounced. It is what it is. We're like, my dad says I can't go, or some stupid shit like that. But she has to make the choice as an adult what she wants to do, and she meets him right before he leaves, and she tells him like, "Look, I can't go," but she doesn't want to stop him from going because she also finds out that she's pregnant, which is a big deal.
And also a trope. That's also a trope.
That's very much a trope
movie.
Yeah,
but this one is just done really well.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you think about that? Is that fucked up to not tell him, or is it the right move?
Well, I am presuming that these characters are supposed to be young, mid-20s.
Yeah.
And they do love each other a lot. And when you love people, like you make sacrifices for their benefit. And I think this is and her. And she's got pregnancy brain, right? Like she's not really necessarily thinking. She's thinking about him and his career, like this would be good for him.
Right.
She doesn't want to burden him, quote unquote, with this responsibility because she knows that he's not going to go to Paris if that's the case, right? Also, she's engaged and it's a weird look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a wild look.
So she's thinking of him, and it it gets turned around later on in the movie, but
in a beautiful, actually in a super smart way, actually.
Yeah, and so I understand it. Do I necessarily agree with not telling him? Not necessarily, but I understand the point of view. The movie does a very good job of illustrating the point of view through context. I mean, later on, it just flat out says it for the slow people. Like Mona flat out says it, but like that's at the end of the movie, so I'm willing to give it a pass. But in this moment, between these two actors and the interaction, I understand it. I don't know if I agree with it though. But
Tiara, what do you?
I get it.
I don't know what I would do in a situation. I mean, if I'm engaged,
tough choice.
I think part of me would have felt a little bad if I had told him that and he did stay and we just put ourselves in a situation where we go from loving each other to ultimately resenting each other. Him because of his career, and then me because I would have fucked up an engagement to someone who I know and certainly have known longer than this guy. And I could have been like, well, what if I had gotten married to the military dude who loves me clearly, right? For a guy I literally just met. I don't know. I feel like, well, for me, it would have been, if I could have, it would have been abort. But listen,
in 1957?
Yeah, I mean, if I could have, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, because it's a movie and these things have happy endings. Sure, I would have been like, I'll keep it a secret and just let this other man, more established man, help me raise my kid for 5 years. That's fine.
See, that's the problem I have. Like, I mean, look, she didn't do that shit. In fairness, she didn't do that shit under the guise of a lie, right? Which would have been horrible.
Right.
Like, nah, it's your baby. He's got your hat. Like, nah, you don't do that.
If he was willing to marry me and in spite of that, that's cool. Then it works out for me.
It works out for me. Yeah, that's a wild statement. Works out for me.
And my child, but it also works out for the man I truly love, the real man of my dreams who filled that position.
That line he says later, I was like, oof.
I know, I felt bad. I was like, ouch.
Oof.
I was like,
that nigga been hurt for like 25 years over that shit. Like, God damn. He ain't never getting over that.
Yeah, but that's where I stand.
Yeah, look, I for me, is a hard choice. Like, do you let this person go and live the life because you love them, or do you like, hey, you got family, son.
But is it selfish to tell them like, hi, I'm pregnant and I want you to make the decision whether to stay or leave?
I don't personally see it as selfish because it's not a one person situation.
Right.
You're going to be parents. You're going to be parents of that child whether you know it or not. The two of you are still parents of that child. I don't think it's selfish. Yep. In a way, it's kind of like it's unfair to him that he doesn't get to make the choice on his own.
Right.
Like, but at the same time, like, this is a common thing, right? This is a thing that happens, and it's not for great reasons, right? This is for a loving, beautiful reason why she's not doing it. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to be with your ass, and I'm just not going to say nothing, right? So I guess I'm of two minds because it could have been a moment that she could have allowed him to rise to the occasion, but it's also slightly selfish because if you don't tell him, you never have to have him make that hard choice.
Right.
Right? Because what if he was like, oh, damn, for real? I'm still going to Paris. Well, that's unforgivable. Right? Like, no woman would be like, that's cool. But
even if she was like, you know, you don't have to stay here. I know you have your dreams and everything. You can go to Paris if you want. What if it was like, all right, cool. Well,
no, set up. That's a setup. That's a setup, yo. That's a setup. Because you don't really mean that. And I'm not saying that there's like women are liars type of shit. But like nobody really means that. Nobody is gonna say, hey, like, go ahead and go live your life, drink and smoke and have fun, and
take that job in San Francisco. And then I will text you when the baby is here.
Right. What kind of insecure bullshit is that? Like, no, yo, no. Nobody believes it. That's a setup. That is literally creating a scenario that there is one answer and you're pretending that there are two answers. There's not two answers. Right. So and that's not fair to him. Like, that's not we'll see what you gonna do, nigga. Like, don't do that. That's fucked up. Just tell him or don't tell him. Period.
And then like I said, like, she just met this man. Like,
right, it's pretty new.
What if he stays and then you realize that, you know, with the stress of being new parents, that you guys don't really like each other, or even really, like, because I imagine, like, if you just meet someone and you find out that you're pregnant, like, you have to get to know that person and you have to deal with the stresses of being a new parent. That sounds like something that would test your relationship.
Yo, knowing a person for a decade, being married for almost a decade, and having a child is testing of your relationship. These niggas haven't known each other for 10 weeks. Like, no. 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 I don't know what the answer is. Like, I guess the answer is it's complicated. There's no simple answer to that. But she does what she thinks is right, which is the best answer for her, which is not to hold this guy, not to hold him there, but to let him go and live his life and you know, see how things work out. I don't know. Couldn't be me. But no, you stay your ass right here. You fucked up. You stay right here. You ain't going nowhere. 5 years later, after Robert left, Sylvie is working as a phone operator. And it's an okay job, and she has to end up connecting somebody to someone at Bon Appetit, I guess the magazine / TV channel, and she finds out about it, and so she starts writing down names, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna try to go ahead and interview for this job. So she goes to interview for the job. She meets this woman named Kate Spencer, who is a black woman. And she's like, look, you want to be a producer's assistant? Well, like, you don't really have any experience. Like, why do you want to do this? And she's like, do you have any kids? And she's like, yeah, I do. She's like, look, there's a lot of late nights. Like, this might not be good for a housewife type of situation. And so Sylvie reads that as, it's because the producer of the show is going to be trying to sleep with her, right? So like, and she's like, no, like I'm the producer, a black woman. I'm the producer. I'm not going to try to chase you down at all. Like, don't worry about it. Like if you want this job, like you can have it. And she's like, basically, but tell me why you want it. She goes, look, I wanted to make TV my whole life. And up until this moment, I didn't know a black woman could be a producer. And I wanted to do that. And so she gives her the job, which is a dope answer, by the way. I thought it was a dope answer.
Ryan Michelle Bath, who I think it's Bath is her last name.
Yeah, it is.
The producer in that scene. Want to see more of her too. That is Sterling K. Brown's wife.
Oh, is that right?
From
I feel like I've seen her in something else too.
She was in This Is Us in a few episodes in the earlier seasons.
Yeah,
she's been in a bunch of other things.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I recognize her face. Yeah, she doesn't have a lot to do in this movie, but she does do what she like the scene she's in. She does well, I think. I don't think there's anybody who's really lacking, to be honest. Next, we get back home and Sylvie breaks the news to Lacey that, hey, she got this job. And Lacey's like, hey, I got this big contract at work. Like, shit's popping off, like, life is good. And she's like, is it? Is it? We cut to the black people version of WandaVision, where Lacey and Sylvie have to make dinner for these white people. And the white woman in the couple, she said some real fucking shady shit to Sylvie, like, oh, my husband was in trouble with the NAACP for not hiring coloreds, but luckily we got your black ass husband in here.
Harry Lennox looking ass husband,
right?
And
he's so articulate.
Yeah,
it was fucked up, yo.
I didn't even know he was a Negro on the phone. Thanks. What the fuck? Like,
I mean, didn't that? Never mind.
No, go ahead. Say your fucked up shit. Go ahead.
I was like, there are people who would listen to the show, like when they heard you, they were like,
all right. Relax.
I mean, Terrence didn't.
Yeah, relax. It's true. They didn't know.
Like,
sorry, I went to college.
Michael on the show with this white guy. Why is Michael on the show with this white guy saying nigga? Like, what the fuck?
That's right. Someone listening right now is like, wait, what?
It didn't help that, like, when we first started, we had a white dude on the show.
Not on this show.
No.
On the other show.
Oh,
not on this
like,
show.
no way.
Not on this show.
No, hell no.
Not on Black on Black Cinema. No.
That's
a rule. That's a rule.
That's a rule.
We're never having a white person's perspective on Black Cinema. I told that to a black guy once. He was like, "Oh, that's kind of fucked up." Like, what?
Well, guess what? We're not gonna have your perspective on either. Fuck you. Why is that fucked up? You kidding me? You know how many movie review podcasts exist? They ain't had ne'er Negro ever step into the fucking recording booth and won't even think about having them on.
But Jay, how are they going to respect our opinion if we don't respect theirs?
I don't care about their opinion. How about that? I don't. I just don't. Like, we have a show that does reviews of like regular movies with white people on it. I've done reviews with white people on it. It's fine. That's just not this show. I haven't white people review Sylvie's Love. This terrible ass movie I didn't like. I'm kidding. Relax. So we cut back to the beginning, which is in the modern era, where Robert and Sylvie meet outside of that theater, and she invites Robert in because Mona stood her up, and she, like, when they're watching the show, he's sitting down there and he's like literally like staring a hole into the side of her head, because he is still very much in love with her, and he notices that she has a wedding ring on, and he gets kind of disappointed. And she, after the show, she says, "Oh, can I drop you somewhere?" She hops in a cab, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm right down the street at the I don't know, the La Quinta down the street," and she's like, "Okay, see you later." And she drives off. And then when he's back in his hotel room, she shows up. And she's like, yeah, it was a date, and you owe me a kiss.
Micah?
And then they just let me. What's the nicest way I can say this? Then she cheats on her husband.
Micah?
No, she commits adultery. Like that's the clinical term for it. She commits adultery.
All right, Micah. Now justify this
fast
shit.
ass woman. This fast ass woman commits adultery. It was fine before because you were engaged and you weren't married, but now it's not cool. It's bad now.
All right, so you're
I can't justify this, but I get it because these are characters, right? Like I get it. I like I said, I can't. These are characters. This ain't real life. Real life is not a movie, guys.
Damn, I can't believe you really turned your back on the "Don't betray me" mantra.
They're not betraying me. They're betraying young Harry Lennox. It's not "Don't betray Lacey." It's "Don't betray me."
You had your wife tattoo it across her back in 72-point font, and now look at you. Terrible. Yeah, so they get a pretty hot and heavy sex scene. God bless. She commits adultery on Lacey. I mean, good on our boy Robert, as far as I'm concerned. But it's not cool, man. Don't be a homewrecker. That's also not cool. Like, cheating is not cool. Being a homewrecker is also not cool.
So eating French fries after coitus? Is that what he's doing?
I mean, fries are delicious. What the fuck?
I definitely think Sylvie lost some respect for Lacey after he, chose to play the game when those bigots came to the house, because he was like, "This contract is $500,000," and she was like, "Yeah."
What happened to your black son?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
I mean, I didn't even think about that. That's probably where her headspace is. Like, because it's obvious that like these two are, if you believe in destiny, they're destined to fall in love together, right? Because this is one of those like classical, melodramatic romantic movies. So they're destined to be together.
Right.
And yeah, that was probably all the excuse she needed to be like, you know what? Fuck this nigga. I'm gonna go this nigga.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, but again, I get it. Cheating's not cool, but I understand. Yeah, I don't think I'd be too cool with my partner if she was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sell out to racist white people for money. I'm like, it's a bit weird. Like, I would lose a lot of respect for my wife if she did something like that. It would be wildly out of character. So Sylvie is talking to Mona on the phone, and she's like, "Oh, what happened to you?" She's like, "Oh, girl, I'm working, on this get out the vote thing. Sorry, I had to go down to Georgia. My bad. That's what happened." She's like, "Oh,
sorry, I stood you up. I went to another state." Like, oh,
yeah, like what the fuck?
Thanks.
Like, all right, couldn't send a raven, a telegram, nothing. And she's like, "Oh, but I didn't go by myself. I went with Robert." And she's like, Robert? Yeah. That's how you know black people take it serious. We got to say the name twice and shit. And she's like, "Yeah, Robert. Like, what the fuck?" And she's like, "Oh, okay. Like, all right. Like, was everything cool?" She's like, "Yeah, everything was cool. Like, we went our separate ways afterwards. Like, we didn't do nothing." And then I found out what hotel he was at, and I went over there. And she's like, "You ain't go over there." She's like, "I went over there." She's like, "But you ain't do nothing." She was like, "Nah, but I did."
I did all the things.
All of it. Which was fucking hilarious, yo. Like Sylvie was just like spilling all of it. I'm like, yo, your daughter is sitting a foot and a half away from a television, 5 feet from you. Like, that kid's sitting way too close to that TV. Yo.
She could have been like, well, Michelle, when your mommy and daddy get together, these things happen. You mean Lacey? My daddy Lacey? No.
Nah, girl. That nigga's a placeholder. Knock it off. This your real daddy. See, y'all the same color. So then we see. I'm gonna fast forward a bit. We come to find out that Lacey and Sylvie, they break it off, right? But before that, Lacey does find out that Sylvie went and hung out to see Robert play, and he was just like, "When I chose your ass, even though you were pregnant," like, which feels very mean to me. Like, he's literally sitting above her, which feels like very dominant and her very submissive. Right. I'm sure that is the point of that, the way it's shot, and I hate it. I'm not a fan. I'm just like, I'm not a fan of that. I don't think you.
I hated it too, because he was like, well, I could have had any girl in Harlem. I'm like, then why didn't you just go out and find that person in? Like, no one forced you.
That's his male ego being bruised, and when the male ego is bruised, that's him. That's his version of, well, fuck you then, bitch. Like, like that's him trying to defend himself. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's right. I'm explaining why he said it. He don't mean that. He couldn't have found another girl. That's some bullshit that men say to try and keep their ego up.
Yeah, like, dude, you could have found another girl, but yet you found a woman who I guess
who cheated on
you and is pregnant.
He got pregnant,
right? And you could have found another girl then. That's what I would have did.
5 years.
Yeah, I'd have been like, "Oh, word, you pregnant? That's cool because I haven't been here." Like, look, I'm not that great at math, but I
could have knocked up some Korean woman. God damn it!
Right?
Yeah, he probably did.
Oh, don't do that to that man.
What?
He's not the cheater. She is.
Well,
I'm blaming the black man.
That's true.
It's her fault.
But you know what? I'm still on Sylvie's side anyway.
I mean, that's true. I am on Sylvie's side because, like, I didn't like how he treated her, where he was like, "Oh, is that your little bullshit job? As long as it don't affect you getting these meals
coming
cooked."
Home. Yeah, coming home cooking.
Yeah, it's like scrubbing and shit. It's gonna stop getting these baseboards white, huh? Then you can't work there. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that shit. So yeah, it was very cool that she was like, I gotta go. So we see there is a Happy New Year's party where Eva Longoria does a rendition. I guess it's some sort of Spanish rendition of Perhaps, which is a great song. It was also the opening of a really great British sitcom series for a while. But yeah, this is the time I actually noticed that Eva Longoria was even in this movie. We find that Sylvie is there. She's hiding in the bathroom. And Kate, her boss, comes in and she's like, "So, I'm engaged." Like, "Oh, congratulations, girl." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm quitting. I'm leaving this job." And Sylvie's like, "Oh, damn, that's fucked up. They're going to lose 2 black women in this job, because, when they bring in your replacement, they're probably going to replace your assistant too, me." Yeah. And Kate's like, "Actually, they already have a person. She comes highly recommended." And she's like, "Oh, really? Wow. Okay." And she just starts staring at Tessa Thompson like, "Do you get it? It's you." Like, she's like, "Oh my God." And so this is her big break to actually become a producer herself, which is kind of dope. Then Sylvie comes home, she's excited about this news. She comes home, her and her husband Lacey, and they come to find out Lacey's dad is there, and he's like, "Your father, Sylvie, had a heart attack and he died. So, Happy New Year."
Right before that, Robert gets a call from Mr. J, and he's like, "There's something you need to know."
Is that fucked up? what he does? He tells Robert about
He's about to
about the
die,
baby?
yo. He's about to die. I guess he's just like, yo, I'm about to die. I really like this dude. I feel like I should tell him. Look, I know someone who has a child and has not told the father. I don't know why. I wouldn't, tell the guy because I don't know him. I know the woman. But I feel like a father should know if they have a child somewhere. I just do. And then
No matter no matter the circumstances. Like if he's like an abusive
not necessarily,
guy or
not necessarily. No matter the circumstances. Like if the guy's a piece of shit, like if the guy's abusive, then no, of course not.
Okay.
But if the guy is, most people aren't pieces of shit like that.
Right.
But if the guy is decent, I feel like he has the right to know. Like I feel like that's if there is no danger to the family, I feel like he has a right to know.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. What do you think, Tiara?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
As long as you're not a piece of shit, sure.
Yeah. No, I think that's reasonable. Yeah, I like the idea of the dad being like, you know what? This is my last ride. Fuck it. I'm gonna sell all this business. That's a very me move. I was like, yeah, Jay is the right name. Yep. That's exactly what I would do. Like, are you dying?
Well, also,
like, not really. Just gonna tell you, it's a Wednesday.
But what also before her dad dies, he asks her when Robert comes back in the picture, like, are you gonna tell him? And she was like, I don't know. So this is kind of like him being like, well, oops. She said she ain't know. She ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh,
yeah, right. Because he probably feels the same way, yo. Like he's like, yo, this dude's a good dude. I feel like he should know. Did he overstep his bounds? Yes. Like ultimately, it's not his responsibility. That's not his secret to tell. That's not his story to tell. But at the same time, I feel like a father should know if they have a child. But,
yeah, and
it's complicated. Like everything in this movie, it's complicated, which makes this movie. Which is one of the reasons why this movie is very good.
Yep.
Because like it emulates real life better than most of the movies in this genre. Most of the movies in this genre just like the smallest bit of communication would solve their flimsy ass plot problems.
Yeah.
Right.
But this movie is so well written. Right. This movie is so well written. Yeah. Like it's multifaceted. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even go with the like, oh, I thought you liked another girl type of thing. Like, they don't even do that. Like, that one woman at the car is like, hey, I got something under this jacket. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. Not interested. And like, Sylvie sees that interaction happen fully and was like, okay, he's not with her. Like, that's it. Because she has one moment where she's like, oh, are you trying to get with Connie or whatever? And he was like, no. And she's like, all right, bet. Like that was it. Like it wasn't like nigga you lying type of shit. Like
nowhere. I'm gonna try to test you to see if you telling the truth or not. None of that.
None of that shit. Like
yo, don't fucking do that shit, yo. Don't women and men don't test people, yo. Like don't do that. Shit. Don't play fucking games, yo. I can't stand that shit.
Yeah, no. I know a couple, that shit happen to them. It's like I'm gonna see what's gonna happen if I do X and see if he gonna react this way. And it was like he was like, okay. And then wasn't the answer you wanted, and it's like, and now you're divorced. Oops.
Oh shit. Oh, I thought you were about to say like, oh, they were just dating, not that they were married.
Nah.
Well,
no, not like test if you gonna cheat. Not that. It was like I'm gonna move out. I want to see if you come with me. And it's like, nah, this is better now. So I'm gonna go ahead and stay. Like,
well,
but I was just testing to see what's gonna happen. Well, you failed.
You found out.
Yeah. Well, your test was fuck around, and your grade was found out. Nah, yo, don't do shit like that. If you don't mean something, don't say that shit. Like, don't say it. Nah, I was just trying to see what you were gonna say. Well, I say it's time to get a divorce, and now they're divorced.
Dang.
Oops. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's kind of sad, actually. So so at the funeral, Sylvie goes into a room. She's like doing work, right? And Lacey comes in. He's like, "Hey, like, you got all these guests here to see you, because your father died and all this other shit." And she's like, "Look, this work can't wait. I got to get this done." And he's like, you need to prioritize this or whatever. And this is where she was like, "You know what? I need to start living for myself." And he was like, "Well, where does that put me?" And she was like, "I don't know." Ouch. And she says, when you married me when I was pregnant, and that was a noble thing to do. And he was like, "Look, just between you and me, I didn't marry you because it was the right thing to do. I married you because I loved you," which is a great line. That's a great fucking line because that has power. It has a lot of power behind it. But then he says,
the next line, no.
"Oh, dude."
That
And he says, "I never wanted you to," because he throws a statement she says to him. He throws it back in her face. She's like, "You wanted me to be the woman of your dreams." And he goes, "I never wanted you to be the woman of my dreams. I wanted to be the man of yours. But we both know that position is already filled." And I was like, God damn. Like, Jesus
Nigga,
Christ.
this is the most grown up clap back and forth I've
Yes.
ever seen in my
Yes.
entire life. And
Yeah,
I
dude.
love it.
Yeah,
I
that was
love
some
it.
expert writing, man. Like, I'm
He was
pretty
crying,
sure
too.
Eugene Ash has broken up with a woman or gotten broken up with these exact lines. Because, this shit was like, I'm like, God damn.
Look, he had that man had
Oof.
real tears coming down his face when he said that line. I was
Nah,
like,
that was
oh,
real.
Man, I was
That
like,
was real.
oh man, this poor dude. Oh,
Yeah, that dude felt that shit. And then he rebounded and bounced back and married DeWanda fucking Wise, yo. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
you winning, bro. You winning.
yeah, he was like, "I'm very upset, but I'm not that upset." Like, there's a line. You know where he got those real man tears from? Thinking about like DeWanda Wise saying this to him. He was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I'm crying for it. God damn, it's fucking sad. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. So then we cut to Robert meeting up with Reggae Jean and King Shark, Ron Funches, and he goes by Big Tank in this movie, and he's like, "Yeah, man, like, look, man, I work for Barry Gordy, like with Motown. Like, anytime you want to like get hooked up and like get on the get on board or whatever, like, you let me know." He's like, "All right, bet. I'm gonna keep that shit in my back pocket." So then we see, we find out that Robert finds out that Sylvie broke it off with Lacey. And he's like, he goes to see her. He finds out, he tells her like, "Hey, your dad talked to me about the little girl being mine. I'd like to see her." And so, eventually she introduces the little girl to him, and like he has that moment where he's like, "Yo, this is my family," and he's like,
Yep.
Like, I got to do the right thing. I got to do what what's right by them. And that little girl's adorable, by the way. And like, he's trying to, I wouldn't even say grow up, because he's not like necessarily an immature guy, but he's trying to hit that next level. Like, you're suddenly a dad. Like, that changes you. Like, it just does. Whether you find out at the moment or you find out, 5 years after they're born. Or it should change you, is what I should say. It does not change everyone. So then we see Sylvie and Robert. They go out on a date, and they're like rekindling shit, and like things are going well. At one point, Robert tries to call Chico, and he's like, "Hey man, I want to let's get the band back together. Let's play. I want to try to do something." And Chico's like, "Nah, yo, we're getting ready to go out of the country, so like shit's not gonna work." He goes to that white guy who he talked to earlier about, leading a band himself. Because that guy was like, "Look, when you're ready to like be a leader and do it on your own, come talk to me. Like, we'll do something." And he's like, "All right, cool." And he goes to see him. That guy's like, "Yeah, but like the Motown sound is what people listen to. People are not really listening to jazz anymore, like Came a little too late. So, and that fucked him up, right? Because he thought like surely he was going places, and he just like hit this dead stop. The guy literally says like,
what
I
love about this movie is that there's a perfect symmetry in this movie. Of these star-crossed lovers, right? Like they want to be together, but they can't. Like, because one person is doing one thing, the other person is doing another thing. Same thing with their careers, right? Like, that's another thing. That's another love and passion that they have, right? Like, in the beginning of the movie, his career is up, hers is down. And then they meet in the middle, they have sex, it flips, and it's beautiful, man. Like, it's a beautiful, symmetry that's in this movie that is not like completely in your face. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's quite literally like, it's so not in your face that you, like you mentioned earlier, that somebody has to go, let me spell it out for you at the end for folks who don't get it. Right. Like, right. The up, down. Oh, I see what's happening here. Like, yeah, it's actually not that hard to follow, but for some people it is. And so this guy, Sid, basically says like, listen, the top song right now on the radio is by this blind kid named Stevie Wonder. Like, this is not, your sound is not the sound that kids are listening to. So I can't do anything for you. So, he's just sitting on the porch when Sylvie gets home, just kind of feeling sorry for himself, trying to figure out what he's going to do now that he's got this kid and, he's got this woman and he's trying to take care of them. But he does talk about how he's going to like go see his buddy in Detroit for Motown and get a gig with one of these bands, right? Because Big Tank told him that he can come down there or go over there, and he's like, all right, yeah, cool. And he's like, look, I want to go down there, set it up, and then I want you to come down to Detroit with me. And she's like, yes, yeah. Like, I've thought about it, yes, because I'm not losing your ass again. Like, this is stupid. And, like, how many times are we going to play this trope over and over again, right? So she's like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, you go, you set it up. Me and my daughter, we coming down there. He's like, all right, bet. Drives all the way to Detroit from Harlem to see Ron Funches. And Ron Funches is full of shit.
Yep.
Because he's like, everybody know me in Detroit. I'm full of shit. I'm just running the dry cleaning for Barry Gordy. I don't really do anything. Like, I ain't got no connections and shit. He's like, man, I can't get you in nowhere. Like, my bad. Sorry.
He just shrugged and was like, I gotta go
Ron
to the cleaners. I was like,
ass.
Yo, he wouldn't have made it out that fucking room. Yo.
No, I'm gonna fuck you up, yo. Like, I get it, but you got to get your ass kicked at least one time for this.
Of course.
Yo, I drove from Harlem to Detroit. That's a minute. And ain't no job. Like, nah, I'm pissed. And so he goes all the way back. He goes all the way back home, and he tells Sylvie, like, I don't want you to come to Detroit with me, like, at all.
Yeah. He was embarrassed.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm gonna be honest though. Like, I'm not gonna just not be honest, but it's like I said, this is a symmetry part, right? This is him not wanting to tell her to come along with him because she would have to basically throw away everything that she had, where she's now a producer. And she had talked about how she could go to this place in Detroit and walk in the door and they'll hire her, but she'd have to start over as an assistant. And, so maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't, right? But he couldn't allow her to destroy her career for him, which is the same thing.
You know what's so interesting about that? Because when you think about like that sacrifice that he makes for her, you think like, I can't help but think about Lacey. Like if Lacey had gotten a position in Detroit where they would have had to leave, and she said like, oh, I have to start over again, he would have been like, well, what's the issue with that? Like, he would have totally let her start over again.
I mean, let alone work at all. Like, he didn't really want her to.
Right.
Yeah, let alone work at all. She probably would, like you say, he probably would have been like, nope, you need to go home and take care of this bastard child.
Yeah. I need steak in the pan when I come home. Like, that's what I want. So yeah, he makes that sacrifice. I'm not sure I could. I'm not sure I could just not say anything. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you know, I get what the movie's doing.
Right. I'm just saying for me
I get what the
personally.
movie's
I'm not even mad at his
It just-
choice. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's just not something that
Yeah.
because I'm all about like, especially now, I'm all about like nope, you got to be open and honest, no matter how hard the conversation is, you got to have it. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way you're going to be able to 100% transparency is the only way you're going to be able to trust each other
Right.
in a relationship. And yeah, nah, man, nah, I couldn't do it.
What about you, TR?
I love you, girl. I love you too much to lie, but I love you too much for you to throw your career away.
I'd be like, I
Yeah,
love you. I love you enough to make you throw this career away.
I would.
We're going to Detroit.
I couldn't do that to her. I couldn't do
fucked
that
up.
to her.
That's
No.
fucked up.
It's especially since like the reason why she got that job partially is because she was hired by another black woman. So how often are those opportunities going to come by for her?
Yeah,
Right.
yo, you gotta remember this is like 1962. Yo, this is like black woman was an executive. That's crazy. Like it's insane. Yeah, anybody like noticing that sort of in the moment would never ask her to do that. You couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, I don't look for a job in New York, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately I'd have been like,
I guess I'm gonna have to play by myself in some random clubs around Harlem because I can't join the guys anymore. So I guess I'm gonna have to start from the bottom again with my music career.
right.
Yeah.
Like you already like even if you moved to Detroit, you got to start at the bottom anyway. So you might as well just start at the bottom in New York. Like you already there. Your clothes are there. Like you only have to move your clothes. Come on, man. Get out of here. But yeah, it's the whole symmetry, that sort of symmetrical design of the movie, which is clever. And so he's like, look, I don't want you to come. And she says something to him. Like I could even see the dialogue coming as she says it. She was like, when you decide you want to come back, don't. I was like, oof, yikes.
Yo, that's some Beyonce shit, yo. That's like a Beyonce lyric.
Yeah, and then she just like she wear a yellow dress and break your windshield with a baseball bat. Like I don't need that. Sorry. So then we I guess fast forward, but it's not like that much time because like they don't state how much time it is. Robert working in an auto plant, and that's what he's doing for work. We see Sylvie. She's on the phone with Mona, and Mona's like, yeah. She's like, where are you? Like you were in Georgia before. Like where are you now? And she's like, look, I'm in DC, getting ready for the Washington, the March for Jobs and Freedom in DC. Incidentally, like that's where Dr. King made his final speech, his I Have a Dream speech, right? That's the most we deal with like the civil rights movement, right? It's just like, this is a big deal.
Thank
you see,
God.
Yeah, right. Like you kind of, it's like, it's cool. Like we're aware of it. Like we know what's going on. I mean, Mona's literally sitting in a hotel room looking out the window and you can see the Washington Monument, right? Like to establish like, this is how close she is to history, right? She's getting ready to go see this stuff. But that's not what this movie is about. So then Mona and Sylvie get together. And I think they're at Sandy Point, which is just fucking hilarious. I was like, I've been there. And they start reminiscing about like time back in the day, and Sylvie starts to reminisce about spending time with Robert, and she finds out that he was working at this auto plant, and basically Mona was like, yeah, he didn't want to rip you away from what you were doing, just like you didn't want to rip him away from what he was doing, and you had a kid, right? Like, y'all have a connection, but this is kind of a big deal. And Mona said something that I thought was a really dope line. She was like, most people don't find love like that, not even for the summer. Right. And that was like, that's the line that kind of, is clearly like the sort of the bug in the back of Sylvie's mind. Because that dude made the sacrifice to then leave his family because he didn't want to fuck you over. Which is, it's certainly a powerful choice. It's certainly a powerful choice. It's not a choice I would have made, but that's, I get it for the movie. And so she was like, oh, well, yeah, you're right. So I'm going to take my fine self. I'm going to go stand outside of this auto factory in Detroit and go get my man. I love how when Robert's walking up, his buddy who doesn't even know Sylvie is like, he stops before Robert knows.
Who the fuck is that?
Like, who is this fine ass woman in like a
Detroit woman?
Right. They don't look like that down here.
Yeah.
Like, who was this fine woman in like a nice Cadillac or whatever? And so Robert obviously notices her, and he's like, "I'll see you tomorrow, Ed." I'm like, you ain't gonna see Ed ever again. Knock it off. And so she basically says, like, "Look, I know what you did, and I know why you did it. Stop fucking around. Bring your ass on home, boy."
Like, you want me to be happy, but like, in order for me to be happy, you got to be in my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm weeping at this point.
Right. This is where I teared up. I was like, I teared up at the part of like, another dude, filled that position. I was like, oh, Lacey. Oh no. It's like, that's not good. And then that's
what we call a dagger, yo. God damn.
She hurt that man. It's all right. He gonna be all right. But yeah, in this scene, she's like Micah said, like, she can't live her life without him. He's like, well, I guess we stuck with each other. And she's like, yeah. And you know what I liked about this? That's where it ends. They don't have him like he trips and falls and like, and then he produced the Kenny G Bop album and made millions of dollars. Like, nah, yo, this dude is just like a regular dude now. Playing in clubs. He's a regular dude.
Well, it's alluded that he goes back to playing in the credits, and I really loved how you see little glimpses of their little happily ever afters as a credits roll.
Yeah,
because she gives him the saxophone from her that her dad left.
Right, and so he's just her husband, I assume, and father to his child, and he is happy, and she is happy.
Yeah,
and that's all you need. You don't have to have millions of dollars. You don't have to have this, lavish lifestyle and all this other stuff that people believe. You just have to have each other. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, and luckily her salary is probably pretty good.
Probably that. I feel like maybe finances kind of matter here, but
I mean, they are. Yeah. I mean, look, he's used to living on $50 for the summer. Like, he gonna be all right.
But is she though? Like,
no.
I did.
Right. That dude was eating cup of noodle. He was eating cup noodle for fucking 2 months. He gonna be just fine. He'd be all right. But yeah, I thought this was a lovely movie. I really did. I thought it was a great choice.
Yeah, man. I really dig this movie. I don't think this movie could be set in a different time period. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they can do a contemporary, this same movie set in contemporary times. Because it would just be messy. Yeah, I absolutely love it. This is one of the best, romantic. I don't watch too many romantic movies because, like, I don't like feeling feelings. Because, like, when I feel them, I feel them hard. Like, I'm an empath, right? Like, I feel them.
Okay,
all right.
Wow, this guy's really the worst. This guy,
and it's just I'm overwhelmed by all that emotion.
All right.
But
good night, everyone.
This is a good one, guys. This is a very good one.
Yes, agreed. I loved it. Yeah.
So
I did read that. I read that Nnamdi Asomugha directed his directorial debut is going to star him and Asia Naomi King starring opposite each other. Apparently, they just finished filming that.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I don't know what it's about, but I'm interested.
Yeah, that's cool. Right. Like, look, I think I didn't realize I was looking up his Wikipedia. he produced Beasts of No Nation. He was an executive producer on that. Which I thought was dope.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is there's clearly some connection here, but the cinematographer for this, Nina Ash, I think maybe she's either married or related to Eugene Ash. So that's interesting. So that could be part of the reason that the cinematography looks so good, is that there is a true connection between her and the director too. So just an interesting side note.
Wikipedia says someone named Declan Quinn is the cinematographer.
That's weird because in the credits it has her name.
I'm gonna go by the film then.
Yeah, like it's a bit weird. Like, nah, just give it to this other dude. Like, but it says it right there. Like, they wrote that. What are you talking about? All right, that's it for us for episode 216. We'll be back for a preview episode for episode 217, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of Black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the Black community.